A man lies crumpled on the rocky path, his tunic torn and bloodied. The sun beats down on the desolate road from Jerusalem to Jericho. Moments ago, bandits surrounded him, stripped him, beat him, and left him half dead. Dust settles on his wounds. The silence is broken only by his shallow breathing. In the distance, footsteps approach. Hope flickers in his fading eyes. Someone is coming, perhaps a rescuer. But the story that unfolds will challenge everything we think we know about mercy. The footsteps belong to a priest, descending from the holy city. His robes mark him as a servant of God, one who offers sacrifices and teaches the law. He sees the crumpled form ahead. For a moment, he pauses. The law commands love for neighbor, but touching blood or a corpse would make him unclean, unfit for temple service. He calculates the cost. Then, with a deliberate step, he crosses to the other side of the road and continues on his way. The wounded man groans. Time crawls. The sun climbs higher. Another figure appears, a Levite, an assistant in the temple. He too knows the law. He too sees the broken body. Perhaps he even pauses longer than the priest, curiosity or pity stirring within him. But the same calculation echoes. Ritual purity, personal safety, the inconvenience of involvement. He walks over, looks at the man, and then, like the priest, he passes by on the other side. Two men of God have now abandoned the dying. But Jesus is telling this story to a lawyer who asked, "Who is my neighbor?" The lawyer wanted to justify himself, to draw a circle around those he must love. Now, Jesus paints a scene that shatters every circle, because the next person on that road is not a fellow Jew, not a religious leader. He is a Samaritan. To the lawyer's ears, the word itself is a scandal. Jews and Samaritans despised each other. A Samaritan was the last person anyone would call neighbor. The Samaritan journeys along the same treacherous road. He is a trader perhaps, or a traveler returning home. He sees the form ahead. Unlike the others, he does not calculate. He does not see an enemy or a threat. He sees a human being stripped of every identifier except need. And when he sees, he is moved with compassion. The Greek word means a wrenching in the gut, a visceral mercy that demands action. He dismounts and kneels in the dust. The Samaritan's hands work swiftly. He opens his travel pack and pulls out oil and wine. In that time, oil soothed and wine disinfected. He pours them on the wounds, his own supplies, his own cost. Then he tears strips from his own clothing to bandage the injuries. There is no hesitation, no fear of defilement. The man who was an enemy becomes a brother. The Samaritan lifts the wounded man onto his own donkey, walking alongside to steady him. The road to Jericho is steep and dangerous, but the Samaritan does not rush. He leads the donkey carefully, speaking words of comfort. The wounded man, perhaps a Jew who would have scorned this Samaritan in another life, now clings to him. The journey is slow, each step a defiance of centuries of hatred. By the time they reach an inn, the sun is setting. The Samaritan carries the man inside and tends to him through the night, refusing to leave his side. Morning comes. The Samaritan must continue his journey, but his mercy is not exhausted. He calls the innkeeper and presses 2 silver coins into his palm, 2 denarii, worth 2 days' wages. "Take care of him," he says, "and when I return, I will repay you whatever more you spend." He does not give a name or seek recognition. He simply entrusts the man to the innkeeper's care and promises to cover every debt. Then he walks out into the dawn. Jesus pauses. The lawyer is silent. The story hangs in the air. Then Jesus asks the question that turns the lawyer's world upside down. He does not ask, "Who was the neighbor?" but "Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers?" The lawyer cannot even say the word Samaritan. He answers, "The one who showed him mercy." And Jesus says, "You go and do likewise." The parable ends, but its challenge echoes through the ages. The priest and the Levite had reasons, good reasons, to pass by. Religious duty, personal safety, social norms. But Jesus exposes those reasons as hollow. The Samaritan, the outsider, the heretic, becomes the hero because he saw a person, not a category. He loved without limits. He gave without counting the cost. And in doing so, he revealed the heart of God, who crosses every boundary to rescue the broken. Who is your neighbor? The question is not about defining who deserves love. It is about becoming the kind of person who cannot help but love. The neighbor is the one in need, right in front of you, regardless of race, creed, or history. The Samaritan didn't ask if the man was worthy. He asked what he could do, and he did it. This is the mercy that costs us something, the love that gets its hands dirty. This is the life Jesus calls us to live. The road from Jerusalem to Jericho still winds through our world. Every day, we encounter those beaten down by life, stripped of dignity, left half dead by cruelty or circumstance. Will we pass by on the other side, or will we be moved with compassion? The Samaritan's mercy was not a feeling but a choice, a costly, inconvenient, beautiful choice. May we go and do likewise, becoming neighbors to a hurting world. If this story stirred your heart, please subscribe and share this message of boundless love. What did this story teach you? Share your answer below. Subscribe to Echoes of the Covenant for another timeless story of faith,